So in this game, Milena takes white, Piotrek takes black, and again we see Tengen move. If we play it as white, we let the opponent to take 3 corners, but of course it's also possible. When black goes down, the most common move is to play this tiger's mouth. If black cuts, we would usually simply connect, black takes the stone, and we can play that Atari. It's quite a big move. We get an outside influence. It's a Joseki. Not often chosen by black, this descent is not the most common move, because white's influence is quite good, but of course it's possible, and yeah, it's a fixed pattern. Then white chose another move. This one. By the way, just to say, it's also possible to start a call. White doesn't risk too much in this call. Like even if white loses the call, it's not at the end of the world right there. How can we say that it's not the end of the world? Well, let's just imagine another order of moves, right? Like this, and then 2 more exchanges. Black here, black here, and white loses stone by a throw in at c4. So looking at that, what would you say? Is it too bad for white? Well, certainly these 2 exchanges were quite bad. These exchanges were quite bad because black's territory in the corner became much more solid. But anyway, we would have rather counted it as black's territory. So we might even underestimate how bad the exchanges are. In fact, you should always remember that, well, in the future, there will be an endgame in the game. And then, for example, you would like to play such a move and continue in center. This might be worth like a few points, right? But if the exchanges are already there on the board, then such 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 would not be center. So it is a loss. It is a loss, but not too big of a loss. So it's possible to start such a call. But if we don't have any good threats, for example, we just play this one, then it's not worth it. At the end of the day, black also doesn't risk this much on this call. So I don't know. Probably black can just be happy playing like that. And then I don't know. Difficult to judge. It's possible to start this call. It's not the most common move. More common is to connect. White plays the tiger's mouth. Black extends. White blocks. So now it's just like a Joseki, but without this exchange, which destroys a liberty, takes away black's liberty. On the other hand, it creates a weak point in white's shape. So it's a bit better for black like this than like in the Joseki, because we skipped an unnecessary exchange. But maybe one day we will anyway want to make this exchange if we want to attack white a little bit. So yeah, doesn't matter this much. Then black attacks white's corner, and white goes for this Joseki. Aha, so I understand playing pincer because we want to use somehow our stones on the left side and also the tengen. So we are not really interested in a variation like this, right? Because then black gets very strong shape, and maybe our stones are not so useful. Maybe even further extension, because it seems that it's not so scary that white goes in, right? Yeah, white can play from the other side, like in the game, but then I would continue a bit differently. For example, white can play this old school move and like this Joseki, because this Joseki depends on the ladder a little bit, and the ladder is ours. Where exactly is the ladder? Well, I think in this variation we can now play this move because black cannot capture our stone in a ladder. If black could, then we need to connect from underneath. But if not, then we can capture black. So yeah, we can just play this 1, 2, 3. Actually, what bot often suggests is this move, or maybe Hane first and this move. And let's attack the opponent. And this one simplified the game too much. So white followed the classical variation. And I think it's not efficient enough for white, because look, all white stones are on the left side. Yeah, it's not too much over concentrated because the walls are a bit far from each other, but still, it's just one side, and yeah, maybe a bit too small. Maybe a bit too small. I mean, of course, black cannot now invade. It will be crazy, but just by reducing it, I think that black can get enough. Yeah. Also, this Joseki is a little bit old, and these days it's more common to play such a move. Black connects, and then we can go here and either block or extend. This is a good choice if only we have a ladder, this ladder. But unfortunately, this ladder is not broken by Tengen. So maybe it's not so impressive for white. This Tengen is now a little bit valueless. Anyway, we will need to play a ladder break around here. Black will finish the shape. We will continue. Black might start an attack. I think that this would be satisfactory for black. So if I was white, I would go for that Joseki. Then in the game we got this calm variation. Yeah, and this is a big move, of course. White plays on the other side. In general, I feel that in this game, black got a little bit of an advantage in the beginning, and then it was difficult to get it back. Yeah, so right now black plays from the other side, and my first intuition is, since we have the Tengen Stone, it will destroy black's potential. Maybe it's a good time to just grab points. Let's grab points, and when black plays, sorry, here I think is the most common Joseki, then we cannot use this variation because the ladder works for black. But we can use this one, the modern Joseki, and maybe connect, maybe not. Um, Possible. I don't know. Maybe white was not satisfied. This move is not that common these days. It's much more common to play such a move. But yeah, should be fine. Then white jumped out and continued with this Joseki. So we get this shape. Yes, all looks normal. Can black cut now? Not sure. Not sure. So this is a variation which we always need to read, and the ladder would not work for white. So maybe actually we can cut. And then what would happen? This would be good for black. This might happen, right? Maybe something like this. I saw that cut, but it's not really a good move. It used to be played, but it's not good. One thing which we need to keep in mind is that if in the end black will have chance to go through here, then AB will become a bad exchange. So I don't know if black can really go for this push and cut. It's also possible like this, but here it's also AB this exchange, which will become very bad if black gets a chance to cut white. Let's say this way. Now AB is a very bad exchange, destroying energy in the corner. Yeah, so white didn't want to get cut and white connected. It's a good idea to not get cut, but connection is not the proper move. Tiger's mouth might look like a good shape, but it doesn't work so great. So a common move is this jump. Now it's possible still for black to dream of a cut, but this dream is a bit naive. This would not be a good fight for black. So a jump is an active way of protecting the cutting point. This is not an active way. Then this move, yeah, of course, very big. Also, this move is big. Also, that move is big. White now shoulders and jump. Yeah, maybe no need, because even if white plays here, we can simply make a life. But it's of course big, and then white cut. Yeah, all makes sense. It all makes sense. So this was a nice variation. I like this connection by black, a good move. But right now, the game starts being a little bit decided. The territories are already encircled. Here, let's say up to 15 points, then 10, 25, then let's count 10, 35, maybe 5 more, 40. Then here, let's count. It's not yet territory, but if white invades, then black gets something else somewhere else. So how much was I at? 25, 35, 40, let's say 55, and then some 10 points here, 65 for black, for sure. Plus a big potential on the bottom side, some potential on the top side. And for white, well, let's say that white gets all of this one, all of this box. 4 times 6, 24, 27, 35. This is white center, so let's even count 38, 40. 40, commie, yes. So white needs 20 more points. And white also needs to get from the potential in the center as much as black gets from the potential on the bottom. It might be a bit challenging. Black has a big potential on the bottom. And now, if black thinks about winning the game, black should just play here. This move makes it quite difficult for white to continue. White can get a bit more around here, but it also gives a piece of the birthday cake to black. Later we can maybe play that move, maybe this one. But black continued, and this is completely not needed. There are 2 alive groups on the top. And here there is just grass, just like, I don't know, 10 points of grass. But we make these points just by connecting alive groups. Very much uninteresting points. Not as many points as on the bottom, because clearly there is less space. Yeah, and it also doesn't threaten much. Probably black played it because black hoped that white will answer, that white will get afraid, that, oh, black can go through. But this going through doesn't threaten white. Again, it destroys territory of white, but doesn't threaten. There are no weak groups in this area. So of course white's move was more important. If black played here, it's difficult for white to continue. And like, really, was black afraid that white continues on the top and gives black another move? Certainly white would not play around there. So white goes in, black plays from the other side. Yes, this is a good move. Then interesting variation. I am not sure if I saw it, but it looks quite much Joseki like. A more common move is this one. Perhaps a variation like this. But I believe that it also exists, this one. This one should also exist. White created a shape in center. Very, very beautiful tenuki right now. White doesn't need to save the 2 stones. After Q2 exchange, it's already impossible for black to capture all, like to get too much territory on the bottom. If black plays here, white simply gives away 2 stones, and Q2 becomes a very good exchange. And if here, then white just gives away 1 stone. White continued. This is maybe not needed. I don't know. Is it needed? What are we afraid of? I think that white can somehow manage the group anyway. And this strengthened black, this for sure. But anyway, white finishes in center. This was an interesting choice by white. If I was white, I would rather opt for a block and then Hane. And then can I double Hane? Maybe this is too much. Yeah, this should be too much. Or maybe jump, but this way we don't take away a liberty, which we really want to take away, because afterwards the cut becomes much more powerful. Because after the extension, black needs to add a move. Maybe we can actually cut at this point. And if black plays a tiger's mouth, then we get everything. But in the game, white turned, and then black goes in, and it's too difficult to protect the shape. Black continues. Yeah, and white finishes with quite a bad shape. A few points of territory are gone. Still, there are some weak points. So right now, I believe that black is just ahead in this game, just ahead. Still, the game continued. This move. I know why white played it. White was afraid that if not, then black can actually start a fight. The fight might become unclear, though it seems to me that white can win this fight by 1 liberty. Or maybe it will be even possible for white at this point to get more liberties or like get more points by crawling at b2. Then there is nothing to be scared of if we can actually do it. So this move was a bit passive, and probably it's bigger to play moves in the center. Or just play like this. For now, black attacked white's group. Maybe not a really much needed attack, but possible to play it. Interesting. White ignored black's move here. Yeah, and then black gets into white's center. Here white played in a very sharp way, but still black breaks in. And now a very interesting thing happens. Black should usually just extend, and let's count points. Here black has 10, 12, 15, 20. Here potentially black has 15 points, so let's count it as, I don't know, like even more than 15, maybe 20. So let's count it as 10 because it's only a potential. So 30, 40, 50 plus a few, 53, 65, 75, 80, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 90. Black has up to 90. And white has 20, 5, 28, 30, 5, 45, 50, 60, 2, plus commi 68. Not enough. Way not enough. So let's just extend and keep it simple. But black wanted this move, thought that it's center because of the ABC continuation. White could just answer. I don't know what black needs this exchange for, but white played here, and if now black answers, it's very, very inefficient. So black correctly decided that he cannot just save these stones and instead played this one. But still, like what black gained is comparable with what white gained. Like if you look again, if black plays here, white plays here, it's not only these stones, but also weaknesses in white shapes. So it's comparable. And having in mind that in the first place, black could just nobby into white's area, it must have been a better choice than going for this capture. Especially that that when we complicate a game, some unexpected things might happen. What unexpected things? Let's wait for them. So the game continues, and then unexpected things. White has this push and cut Tesuji, which Black probably didn't think of when he played this A, B, and C combination and then jump to D. Actually, this Tesuji is very much working. If Black captures the stone, White just goes out. Yeah, White is out. And Black will struggle making life. Maybe Black can make life, but not sure if it's worth it. Black didn't get these points, and White gets a bit more points in the center. Maybe it's worth it for Black to still capture the stone, but Black decided to keep the 5 stones, and then White's gain is very big. 3, like 10 points, I would say. 10 points, because if not, if there is no Tesuji like this, if White plays something else, then still Black can annoy White in the corner a little bit. Yeah, but then the game continues with a simple Yose, simple end game, and still Black just had enough. So good end game try by White, good Tesuji on the left side. But in the end, it's all not enough. Black won by a few points. Yeah. So I think that's it about this game. If there are any questions, then you can all ask, of course. And if not, then all right. Then we will be moving to the next 2 games, and these reviews will be already in Polish. But of course, all of you are invited to stay. All right. Let me finish this recording.